high level that I just couldn't stop playing. Metal Gear Solid 3 was the first game I played back to back to back to back to back. I think when it came out and I played it for the first time, I played it 12 times back to back before I got tired of it. There was so much to do.
God damn.
So much to see. Like all the character controls, then you got stealth camo, things like that. It was phenomenal. I loved it, and it was the first game that I got really quick at doing. I went through it so many times that I learned how to defeat certain bosses way quicker without any guides, without any cheats. Oh, it was so good. I love Snake a lot. I haven't played it in a while. I don't know if it still holds up, but I just love the end boss fight with that, the sniper rifle sort of fight, and the way that you can defeat like 3 or 4 different ways by leaving, you're changing the time on your PlayStation in your PS2 back then, and then you would come back and he was dead from old age. Or like just different things like that. Like, and the sort of hidden secret Easter eggs that Metal Gear games had was another thing that added this layer of meta narrative to it. Metal Gear Solid 2 as well aged so much better than some of the other stories, because nowadays the stuff that's in Metal Gear Solid 2 is like, oh yeah, back then it was like all these weird ideas that we were like, what is he talking about? He's crazy. Turns out he was right.
People with ADHD save 10 hours studying with this Chrome extension. But no, by all means, go ahead.
I will save a fucking few seconds, you dumb bitch.
Final Fantasy 9! I wonder if that's a surprise to many people. I wonder if some of these games are a surprise to people. That's why I have them in my list. Final Fantasy 9 was another game I played when I was actually 9 or 10 or 11. I was in like my
Don't you laugh at me, you fucking...
year of primary school. And a friend of
I'm
mine,
trying to think of an insult that would not offend anybody of any other culture, but it would offend this guy. And well, culture, I'm being a fucking retard. Sorry, not culture. Sexual orientation, but that's all I think when I see this dude. See, the first thing I thought of, I don't want to be mean to anybody who's gay or in the LGBT community. Like, if you like dick, okay. As long as you're not trying to suck my dick, we're fine.
told it to me, I knew nothing about Final Fantasy games. He just like video games a lot. He was like, hey, you might like this one. I played it. I adored it. It was the first Final Fantasy game I ever played. And maybe that's the way it always is. The first Final Fantasy game you play is the one you like the most. A lot of people have a lot of reverence for 7. And I understand that completely because it changed the Final Fantasy formula forever. But I feel like 9, because it was my first game, I love the characters, I love that world. It felt like playing a Studio Ghibli movie, which I hadn't seen. But now that I have seen Ghibli movies, I'm like, oh, that's what you were doing with 9. The characters are amazing. I think Vivi, who's in this picture, is one of the greatest video game characters ever. His arc through that story is so good. And it was the first game with like a character ensemble that I played. It was my first turn-based RPG, again Japanese game that I played that I didn't know I liked until I played that one. Nowadays you go back and play it and it's super slow, it's super close to the combat, you walk around forever, like the fight starts and it takes like 10 minutes to finish one. It's helped by the newer versions because you can speed them up. But I feel like that game, the world that was in it, the story was telling, the summons that you could get, the character dynamic between Garnet or Dagger and Zidane, it was so cool. I'd never played anything like that before, and it blew me away. The final boss, terrible. Some of the stuff in it, terrible. But it was that, again, another game where you could get through the story pretty quick. If you went off the beaten path, and me and my friend had a guide from, I think it was the Prima guide. How would I get that book? You know, it had the white...
I don't feel like getting up and going down to my old room to grab a shirt, because that's where my shirts are, because I've not moved my clothes up here yet. So I'm just going to grab one of the shirts I wore either today or yesterday and just use it for this video. You're welcome. I put on such a great fucking killing nobody. See, what I want to do is go ahead and buy this and we're ready. As soon as I go into my broadcast settings, turn on my camera.
And it was basically like, follow this guy, you get everything in the game. And there was so much. All these like ultimate weapons that you could get by doing
Christ.
Taking your airship
Again,
direction, like,
I gotta shoot this up at a certain point because I want Andrew Ryan up in here.
As it should. I feel like it
Nope,
is
that's
one
my.
of the top 3 Final Fantasy games. I think 7 left more of an
That's
impact
lower.
because of the time it came out and the first one of that style. And then
Yeah, Andrew Ryan, right there.
That had voice acting.
Right next to Huey.
I played 9
You'll know the difference because fucking Huey's got a big ass fucking. Yeah. You'll know the difference. Piss off.
It is fun, but I think the second half of 8 just falls apart. And then I played 10. I've never played 7. Maybe I should. I tried the remake, but it just felt too padded out for my liking. But maybe I should play the original 7 again. Or for the first time, I should say. Final Fantasy 9. The greatest Final Fantasy game ever. And I don't care what you say. 10 has better combat. But 9 as a package is just so good. Oh, the story is beautiful. The locations, awesome. Oh, I love it. I don't know if this video is actually interesting at all. I'm kind of worried that I'm sitting here talking too much about this stuff.
The first 3 games, man, yes. I'm sorry, I'm talking to my computer, but fuck off. Yes, the first 3 games, fucking. I don't. The thing is, I don't give a fuck about Final Fantasy. I like to yell at things that can't hear me.
We're going to talk about Inside next, which, again, might come as a surprise to people because I played this on my channel. Top of the morning, Giovanni's. My name is Jacksepticeye. Welcome to a game called Inside. This is weird, actually. All these games are like
Inside what? Inside my ass?
Class as an insider, the only two that have a full series on. Well, people probably wouldn't.
Listen, you fucking Irish cunt.
Inside was one of those games that made by the people who made Limbo. I liked Limbo a lot. It was fun. It had that sort of ambiguous storytelling that I liked. The art style was nothing like I had seen at the time again. But it just didn't have a lasting impact on me. But Inside completely changed that. It was the same formula as Limbo, the same sort of playstyle with slight differences. But the scenery in that game, I think. I'm a huge fan of, if you couldn't tell by the short films that I do, and like the ego content and things like that I do. I'm a huge fan of like show, don't tell. I like people interpreting their own meaning out of story. Because I love that when I watched things like Lost. I love that sort of go down the rabbit hole, come up with all your own theories. Because your theories are always going to be better than what the story sort of go down the rabbit hole.
What?
Because I love that when I watched things like Lost.
Okay, now oh my god, we have a lot of blades. We have 48 blades with a lucky blade. This is the aim blade, and this is our throw. I think I'm gonna like using this much more, mainly because that's what I've been waiting for, a killer with a bat. This is a bat, right? With something attached to it. Otherwise, I look like a retard. But I'm... Fuck you. What's the electrifying combo? I hit him with a blade. Is that electrifying? Well, as we wait for this to either crash or...
Because your theories are always going to be better than what the story actually gives you. Same with Bloodborne, a lot of my theories on that. Well, Bloodborne, the story is actually there. It doesn't leave much to ambiguity. You just have to go look. Shadow Colossus, completely ambiguous. You don't really know the full story. And some of the theories that people come up with are going to be better than how what the developer intended. So inside is that kind of thing involved that just there was so much going on. And my brain was racing as I was playing it. I was trying to put a lot of details together. The scenery was some of the coolest I've ever seen in a video game. It's a
If you can't notice, I'm trying so hard not to...
But in a 2D style. It's kind of like the Ori and the Will of the Wisps game. It's kind of the same. It sort of had like big game development graphics in a 2D style. Like the volumetric fog, the volumetric lighting, the shadowing, the animations, all top-tier, but it was done in this sort of like side-scrolling style that I couldn't believe how good it was. The locations, the sort of framework that they use. Look at that art style. That is flat. I feel like if I wanted to make something, it would look like Inside. I feel like that's exactly my style, kind of distilled into something that's sort of like weird creatures and sort of ambiguity. One of the main reasons I like it a lot, and something that I haven't talked about yet in many of these, is sound design. The sound design in Inside is so much greater than anything else in it, I think. There's that one section where you're going along and you're puppeteering the dudes, and then you hear this sort of like shake in the next room, dust falls out of the ceiling and stuff. What the hell is that? And then you go into the next area and you see these like big explosions happening. But you can't really see anything, and then this shockwave happens, and then there's a moment where you hide behind a metallic plate, and then it has this like whoop kind of sound to it. It is some sort of like pulse. That is fucking freaky. Oh shit! I felt like I was gonna cry the first time it happened because it like just hit me right in my emotions. I love good sound design. Again, people know there's a lot about me. I studied sound design, but it was so incredible to listen to that I was like, man, listening to this on headphones is not doing it any sort of justice. Someday, I will create a room where I can listen to stuff like this with like the heaviest punch in my chest and just really feel it, because sound design is like 50% of the experience if done right. Whoa. Oh my god, that's awesome! I feel like Inside nailed it. That one moment where you hit the submarine down through the boards and it all opens up, the camera pulls back, it's just you, a light, and endless water, and it has that like kind of sound to it. And it just kind of like leaves you sitting there, like the sound cuts out and this like swell of music. Fucking, it's music and sound and everything hits me so much more emotionally sometimes than a good story. And I feel like Inside hit every single note perfectly. And the gameplay is nothing to write home about, but it doesn't matter. It just shows that good environments, a cool concept, and good sound design can go so much further than like, oh, we need to reinvent the wheel.
The catastrophic earthquake event in Ireland, and we all
I feel like Battlefield 3 definitely deserves to be on this list because it's not a game I talk about often. It's not like I don't talk about multiplayer shooters a lot. A lot of times whenever I do talk about them and the fact that I played them a lot, people are shocked. Like when I used to play Valorant a lot, or I played like Modern Warfare, the newer one, when it was remade and rebooted. I played that a lot. I played a lot of the original Modern Warfare, a shit ton of Modern Warfare 2. That came out when I was in college, and I skipped classes to play Modern Warfare 2. I had played a lot of multiplayer shooters in the past, but Battlefield 3 is the one that I played the most. I put over 1,000 hours into that game, which these days is nothing. People are like, 1,000 hours? Try 10,000 hours in World of Warcraft or Team Fortress 2. I get it, but for me, I'd never put that much time into a game. And it was also, I think the reason it hit me more is because it's the game that got me into PC gaming. I play so much of my games on PC now, and it's my preferred platform to play games on. But I didn't play PC games before that. I was strictly a console gamer, specifically like Sony consoles. And
Shut up,
Battlefield
cunt.
3 was being teased, and that, if any of you are into Battlefield 3 at the time, you would know that that teaser trailer that came out was like, holy crap, we've reached real life graphics.
Oh my fucking god. My PlayStation runs so fucking slow I can't even stop the broadcast. Or close the fucking app. Tired of hearing this fucking faggot's laugh.